conversation on a biographical note, partly prompted by Professor Monti's remarks about the debates that Sunil and he indulged in campus, were often denominated against Marxism. I went to Calcutta in 1980 to study sociology, got influenced by Marxism. I still regard Marx as a great thinker. I believe every social scientist must read and digest Marx, and every thinking Indian must go beyond Marx as well. And I came to that realization in part because of someone sitting in this audience, Professor Jawaharlal, who early in my PhD suggested that I work on the Chipko Andolan. And I started my research, and I began to understand that environmentalism in India was a complex phenomenon affecting the world. When I went back to Calcutta and I talked to my Marxist friends and teachers, they said, change your topic because environmentalism is a bourgeois deviation from the caste structure. It also happened that I continued, I persevered, and I finished my PhD. And in the late 1980s, or maybe early 25 years ago, some young students from JNU who had traversed the Narmada Ghati and probably met Sunil came to see me at the Institute of Economic Growth, where I was then working, and said, would I speak in JNU on my research? I said, ask your professors. They did not ask Professor Satish Jain or Professor Arun Kumar. They asked some other professors who came back by saying, we don't need this bourgeois environmental stuff on our campus. So I'm back here 25 years later, speaking on this subject. I met Sunil only once, very briefly. I knew of him, I knew of his work. Professor Mohanty has given a wonderful portrait of the thinker, the man, the philosopher, the activist, the change maker. But I'd like to say a little bit before I come to the subject of my talk about this larger question of Indian socialism. What is Indian socialism? And I don't mean to disparage Marxism. You know, just as Mukul said that I spoke in this college on Gandhi and Ambedkar, I believe it is possible to reconcile to some extent competing trends. I believe Gandhi and Ambedkar are both relevant. You don't have to choose. You can admire Ambedkar more and Gandhi a little less, that's fine. You certainly have to choose between Gandhi and Savarkar. Between Marx and Gandhi, there's one question you have to choose on, which is the question of violence, or morality of means and ends, which Professor Monti mentioned. But in other aspects, you can learn from one another. And Marxism has had a profound political influence on our country. And socialism perhaps less so. But I'm one of those who believe that the Indian socialist tradition, for which Sunil was such a remarkable exemplar, is underrated in its contributions to Indian history, past, present, and arguably future. There are three respects in which I believe Indian socialism is deeper than Indian Marxism. Maybe Indian Marxism is more analytical, it has a more precise understanding of inequality. But there are three respects in which historically Indian socialism has been deeper and more profound and more relevant to our country than Marxism. Actually embodied all three, I'd like to say that. You know, the first was that Marxists, till very recently, had an almost total statist approach. Once they capture the state under capitalists is all bad, but once the Leninist party captures the state, it will be all good. Whereas socialists recognize that the state is one instrument of social change, sometimes liberating, sometimes oppressive. If you give it too much power, it will be oppressive, and it must be complemented by grassroots action from below. And it was a socialist like Jawaharlal Nehru who was really the pioneer of Panchayati Raj and political decentralization in this country. So that's one respect in which Indian socialists are, in many ways, speak much more to the Indian predicament than Marxists. The second is that Indian socialists were patriots. They loved this country. The Marxists loved this country, but they loved some other country more. You know, it could be Russia, it could be China, it could be Cuba, then it became Venezuela. The Indian socialists have this country. And I think this, the sacrifices they made during the freedom struggle and the extraordinary heroism they displayed, by the way, men and women. I believe that the most remarkable Indian woman of the 20th century was Kamala Devi Chakrabarti, who came from the socialist tradition and who's unfortunately underappreciated. But she is the one who told Gandhi that we must join the Salt March. In 1930, only men were taking part in the Salt at that time. While Gandhi was marching to Dandi, Kamala Devi went and forced him. So what about us? And Gandhi said, you have your own domain, you are allowed to picket liquor stores. That is your domain. She said, no, we want to. And she was able to persuade him. She made illegal salt and then she auctioned it to the Bombay Stock Exchange. And so the socialist tradition were great patriots. This is particularly important now because the anti-patriotism of a certain section of the leftists, where some other country is more important than ours, has ceded the ground to the right. So the right has become the monopolist of patriotism. So I think that's the socialists got this country. They did, there's a great definition which I forget who originates it, but it basically differentiates between patriotism and nationalism. What is a patriot? A patriot is someone who loves his or her country. A nationalist is someone who hates the other guy's country. No, I think because they were rooted in the soil, because they worked with peasants and workers, and because they had seen Gandhi in action. So, for the Marxists, Gandhi was the epitome of bourgeois action. R.P. Dutt, who wrote a book called India Today in 1940, contemptuously dismissed Gandhi as the Jonah of the bourgeoisie, who had invented non-violence, according to this British Marxist, as a device to wean the masses away from the revolutionary struggle. That was the kind of contempt that Marxists had for Gandhi. The socialists understood where Gandhi was coming. So, there's the decentralization, there's the patriotism, and third, there's the environmentalism. I think that's, in my lecture I talk about other people whom one can broadly call socialists or social democrats, who pioneered the Indian environmental movement. But Sunil comes from that direction. So these three aspects of socialism, skepticism of giving the state too many powers, social change from below, an understanding that in countries such as ours, environmentalism is as much a poor person's concern as a rich person's concern, and finally, a deep and abiding love for the land, which does not translate into hatred of somebody else's land, but comes from your understanding. I think these are aspects that Sunil embodied, that the socialist tradition embodied at its best. It had problems. The socialist tradition had problems. And in fairness, before I come to the subject of my talk, I should point to a problem in the socialist tradition. It used to be said of the Trotskyists, one Trotskyist is a branch, two Trotskyists are a party, three Trotskyists are split in the party. And I think the socialists exemplified that. They were a very disputatious lot, and I think they hurt themselves on that. But I think in these several aspects, the socialist tradition that Sunil embodied needs to be reinterpreted and reinvigorated for our times, because it draws in many ways on the best traditions of African society. This is another aspect, culture. The socialists have contributed enormously to culture. Kamala Devi Chakrabarti, her work on handicraft, on theatre, and so on. So it's a real privilege and honor to be delivering the third Sunil Memorial Lecture on what I have called the three waves of Indian environmentalism. And I'm going to begin by posing the question, when did the Indian environmental movement begin? पर्यावरण आंदोलन की शुरुआत कब हुई? When did the Indian environmental movement begin? One answer to that question I found in an oak forest in Himachal Pradesh, where I was taking a walk, and there I saw a sign put up by the Himachal Pradesh Forest Department, and this sign read, कहते हैं वेद पुराण बिना वृक्ष के नहीं कल्याण. कहते हैं वेद पुराण बिना वृक्ष के नहीं कल्याण. So in other words, this signboard was telling us that environmentalism in India began with the Vedas, because it is said in the Vedas that if you have healthy tree cover, you will have human welfare. But I believe this is fundamentally wrong, and this sign itself, is unhistorical, because in our scriptural traditions there are many competing aspects. On the one hand, you may find a verse extolling the natural beauty. On the other hand, you may have an entire episode in the Mahabharata, the burning of the Khandava forest, which glorifies the destruction of nature. It celebrates the colonization of Indo-Gangetic plain by agricultural communities and the burning of the Nagas, who were the Adivasis of that time, the Adivasis whom Sunil worked with, and the destruction of forests and animals. So, I believe it's a fundamental mistake to look at scriptural traditions or religious texts for environmental inspiration. It's a fundamental mistake for two reasons. One, that there are always contrary trends in a religious text. You can't cherry pick only those that suit you. There are enough, as I said, the aspects of the Mahabharata, one section of the Mahabharata glorifies and celebrates environmental destruction, the destruction of the Adivasis and their forests and their animals. That's the first reason. The second reason is that I believe that environmentalism is principally a modern phenomenon. It's a product of and a reaction to the Industrial Revolution. Without the Industrial Revolution, you could not have had environmentalism. You could also argue, as I have done elsewhere, that without the Industrial Revolution, you could not have had socialism or feminism either. These are 19th century movements produced by the Industrial Revolution. One aspect of the Industrial Revolution was that it radically enhanced the capacity and the capability of human beings to transform the environment. For the first time, you had new technologies like the steamship, like the chainsaw, like the coal mine, that had radical and transformative impacts on the environment. New resources, new technologies of extraction, and massive production of polluting effluents. And for the European world, of course, industrialization came with colonialism. So if you look at the transformative impacts that British colonial rule had on the Indian environment, these were incapable in the pre-colonial times. With industrialization, the pace of environmental change radically increased. Industrialization led to the devastation of forests, of habitats, the fouling of the air and water, because for the first time you had synthetic chemicals which did not exist in agricultural society. So long as human beings were peasants and tribals and hunter-gatherers, they did not produce chemicals which destroyed the water sources, water on which we depend, which is the basic resource and sustaining resource of life. So it is only the Industrial Revolution that led to the clearing, that allowed the clearing of hundreds and millions of hectares of forest, the polluting of the air, the polluting of the waters. And the Industrial Revolution was also accompanied by rapid population growth, because once you had new medical technologies, population growth also increased. In pre-industrial times, there were environmental shortages, but there was no environmental crisis. This is an important distinction I would like especially the students to reflect, to focus on. In pre-industrial times, there were environmental shortages. Supposing you were a hunter and you depended for your sustenance on hunting deer, and you overhunted and the deer species in near your village became extinct, you could go to the next forest or you could hunt another deer species. Instead of cheetah, you could hunt chikar. If you were a peasant and you exhausted the soil, you could migrate to the next land and start cultivating there. The Industrial Revolution, on the other hand, led for the first time to the perception of a global environmental crisis. A one-sentence ecological definition of the Industrial Revolution would be The Industrial Revolution involved more people producing more, consuming more, excreting more. More people producing more, consuming more, excreting more. So for the first time, the profound transformative impacts of the Industrial Revolution, the revolution that of course led to great productivity, rise in living standards, but also gave human beings for the first time technologies that were so devastating that they could imperil life on Earth. And if you look at the history of the Western environmental movement, it started first in England because that was the first industrial country. Then it moved to Germany. Then it moved to the United States. And by the early 20th century, it had reached India. So the first important thing, conceptual thing to recognize, the first important conceptual point about environmentalism is that it is not ancient, it is not modern. It is not encoded in our scriptures, rather it is a dynamic social response to the Industrial Revolution, because the Industrial Revolution for the first time gave human beings the technologies, the institutions, the capacities and the greedy appetites to so destroy their environment that it imperiled human life on Earth. Which brings me to someone who was one of the first Indian environmentalists, and that was Mohandas Gandhi. Gandhi was one of the first Indians to recognize the unsustainability of Western models of industrialization. And I am going to give you a quote from Gandhi from the year 1928. This is in Young India, December 1928, and Gandhi says, I am quoting him, "God forbid that India should ever take to industrialization after the manner of the West. God forbid that India should ever take to industrialization after the manner of the West. The economic imperialism of a single tiny island kingdom, namely England, is today, namely 1928, keeping the world in chains." And then Gandhi continues, "If an entire nation of 300 million took to similar economic exploitation, it would strip the world bare like locusts. It would strip the world bare like locusts." Now the key phrase in this Gandhi quote is, "God forbid that India take to industrialization after the manner of the West." Not that India should not take to industrialization at all. Contrary to what his critics have said, Gandhi was did not glorify poverty. He wanted to use technology, social institutions to eliminate poverty, to enhance human welfare. But he recognized intuitively that Western models of industrialization that were capital intensive, energy intensive, that depended, as he said, on control of resources from all over the world. It was English imperialism that enabled English industrialization. Somewhere else he says, in one of his other writings he says, England and America had colonized this world, whereas the world for India to colonize. So if India and China were to emanate Western models of industrialization, they would strip the world bare like locusts, as indeed India and China seem to be doing. Now, Gandhi was what I call an intuitive and instinctive environmental thinker. This is a minor aspect of his work. Gandhi was a freedom fighter, a social reformer, a prophet of Hindu-Muslim harmony. Those you would argue were his three critical callings. But here and there are aspects of his work that tell you that he understood the limits to global industrialization of the Western model. And these insights of Gandhi were taken further and deeper by two of his remarkable followers who are now largely forgotten. One was an economist, whom perhaps Sunil read, called J.C. Kumarappa, and the other was Gandhi's English disciple, Magdalene Slade, who took the name Miraben. And both Kumarappa and Miraben were today forgotten. spent in 90s and 30s and 40s, when they were not going to jail, or when they were not inside jail, Kumarappa and Meeraben were working with peasant and artisanal communities, promoting what we would today call sustainable development. There are many aspects to their work. I have written about it elsewhere. I hope one day to write a full book on these early environmental thinkers. But I'm going to give you just two quotations. One from Kumarappa, one from Meeraben. To give you a sense that in the 1930s and 40s, there were some Indians who were indeed early environmentalists. This is what I call the first wave of Indian environmentalism. My lecture is called the third wave of Indian environmentalism, the three waves of Indian environmentalism. And the first of these three waves was born during the freedom struggle under the shadow or under the influence and inspiration of Mahatma Gandhi. So I'm going to give you just two quotations. One is from J.C. Kumarappa, from his 1940 book, The Economy of Permanence. And in this book, look at the title, The Economy of Permanence. That's a 1940 book. Not the economy which is based on loot and plunder, but is sustainable and permanent. And in this book, Kumarappa says, I quote, if we produce everything we want from within a limited area, we are in a position to supervise the methods of production. If we produce everything we want within a limited area, we are in a position to supervise the methods of production. While if we draw our requirements from the ends of the earth, it becomes impossible to guarantee the conditions of production in such places. And this is a philosophical maxim for decentralized control of natural resources. You can say it's the kind of maxim that inspired Sunil's work on the Fishermen's Cooperative in Tawa. So, you are producing from within an area you recognize. That is Kumarappa. The second quote comes from Meeraben, and she said, also in the 1940s, the tragedy today is that educated and moneyed classes are altogether out of touch with our Mother Earth and the animal and vegetable populations she sustains. The tragedy today, she's writing in the 1940s, the tragedy continues. Our educated and moneyed classes are out of touch with Mother Earth. The world of nature's planning is ruthlessly plundered, despoiled and disorganized by man whenever he gets the chance. And then Meeraben continues, by his science and machinery, he may get huge returns for a time, but ultimately will come desolation. We have got to study nature's laws and develop our lives within her laws if we are to survive as a physically healthy and morally decent species. Now, I'm just giving you a few glimmerings. This is a very rich subject, underexplored subject. But in the 30s and 40s, when the freedom struggle was going on, there were a group of very interesting thinkers who were reflecting on the question, when independence comes, how shall we plan our economic development? Shall it be bottom up or top down? Shall it be resource intensive or research conserving? Shall it use only modern science or should it also incorporate peasant and tribal ecological knowledge? These are questions that were being actively debated. And this is what I have called the first wave of Indian environmentalism, which was composed of thoughtful, prescient thinkers. It was a wave of ideas. And it was a wave that after India became independent, disappeared. Because when India became independent, the Gandhian approach to economic development was rejected, and India instead adopted, in my view, on good faith, because they thought it was the right way to go, they adopted a energy-intensive, resource-intensive model of economic development. Because people like Nehru thought, and as I said, this was in good faith. People like Nehru, Mahalanobis, the Planning Commission believed that we had to industrialize and modernize quickly, so that to safeguard our political independence, we had to build a technological and industrial and indeed military capabilities. But through the 50s and 60s, as economic development on a Western model, Western stroke Soviet model was pursued, this led to various social and environmental implications, largely negative. And finally, in 1973, in April 1973, you had the emergence of what I am calling the second wave of Indian environmentalism. It was born in 1973 with the Chipko Andolan, which was a peasant protest movement in the Garhwal Himalaya against the environmental and social implications of commercial forestry. And Chipko is correctly viewed as the origins of the modern environmental movement. But it was the second wave. The first wave was one of thinking and reflection of Gandhians and people associated broadly with the freedom struggle, saying, look, soon, one day soon the British will go. When they go, how shall we plan our economic development? How shall we manage our forests and our waters and our energy resources? How can we do this in a socially just and environmentally sustainable way? So it was a wave, the first wave was one of philosophical reflection. The second wave was social activism, protest. And the Chipko Andolan was the first of many protest movements, as we mentioned a few as I go along. But I want to say a little bit about why Chipko is so significant. Why did Chipko capture the imagination of social activists across India, indeed across the world? There are at least 7 reasons why the Chipko Andolan is so significant. First, Chipko was indigenous. It was a product not of international pressure, but of self-motivated peasants. In 1973, the same year that Chipko was born, Indira Gandhi mandated Project Tiger, which was the creation of wildlife sanctuaries to protect the tiger on international influence. So you could see Project Tiger as top-down environmentalism, the Chipko Andolan as a bottom-up environmentalism. Secondly, Chipko was significant because of its historical and cultural associations. It was born in the watershed of the Ganga. Not just the holiest river, but a river whose water sustains the population of the Indo-Gangetic plains. And Chipko was instantly recognizable because it was led by Gandhians and used Gandhian means of protest. The two great Chipko leaders, Chandi Prasad Bhatt and Sundarlal Bhagwan, neither of them knew Gandhi, but they were inspired by Gandhi in different ways. Sundarlal was more inspired by Vinoba Bhave. Chandi Prasad was more inspired by Jayaprakash Narayan. He came from a more socialist tradition. There was Radha Bhatt, who was a women's leader, who had worked with Sarla Ben, who was an English disciple of Gandhi in Burma. So this was a continuation of a rebirth of Gandhian social activism through the Chipko Andolan. Thirdly, the Chipko Andolan was what I have called an environmentalism of the poor. It was about restoring the control over forests and water to the local communities. The forests of the Himalaya were crucial for the subsistence and survival of the agricultural and pastoral communities of the Garhwal Himalaya. The forests gave them fuel, fodder, medicinal implements, and medicinal herbs, wood for agricultural implements, and above all, forests conserved water. Wherever there were good oak forests, there were healthy springs. Wherever forests had been destroyed by commercial logging, this had led to massive soil erosion and floods. So, environmental sustainability among the Garhwali and Kumaoni peasants was critical to their survival. A healthy forest cover was absolutely critical to their livelihood and subsistence. Fourthly, Chipko was not just about protest, but about reconstruction. Sunil bhai used to talk about Sangharsh or Nirman. Dono, Sangharsh ke saath Nirman. So protest against unjust policies, but also work with local communities to rebuild their lives. So in 1973, you had the first Chipko Andolan. After a few years, the government gave in and they stopped commercial felling in the Himalaya. Chandi Prasad Bhatt said, we have achieved a victory because commercial felling has been stopped. But we must not rest on our oars. We must do Nirman, reconstruction. And working largely with village women, Chandi Prasad Bhatt and his Dasoli Gram Swarajya Mandal revegetated barren hillsides of the Alaknanda Valley. They had regularly village plantation camps where they planted broadleaf species which were much more valuable and much more to the local economy, much more important for the Himalayan ecology, unlike the pine trees that the forest department planted out of greed. And they revegetated large parts of the Alaknanda Valley. And in the 1980s, a scientist from the Indian Institute of Science did a study comparing the plantations run by village communities under the leadership of the Dasoli Gram Swarajya Mandal and plantations under the forest department. And the study found that the survival rate in the forest department's plantations was 10 to 15%, and that in the Dasoli Gram Swarajya Mandal plantations was 75 to 80%. So Chipko was important also because it consisted not just of protest and struggle, but also of reconstruction and revival and restoration and rebuilding of environments. Fifthly, Chipko was important because it was representative of a spectrum of such environmental struggles that erupted in different parts of India in the 70s and 80s. Struggles over access to forest, fish and grazing resources, struggles against industrial pollution, struggles against the environmental and social impacts of mining, and above all, struggles over the displacement, the social displacement and environmental destruction caused by large dams. And if the Chipko Andolan was the most charismatic, most inspirational, most celebrated environmental struggle of the 1970s, the Narmada Bachao Andolan became the most charismatic, the most inspirational, the most celebrated environmental struggle of the 80s and 90s. And it is no accident again that Justice Chandi Prasad ji was influenced by Jayaprakash Narayan. Meera Patkar comes from a family of socialist activists. So, the Chipko Andolan was representative in many ways. It spawned a whole series of struggles and also spawned social scientific research. Professor Jayanto Bandyopadhyay was here, and me and many other people started working on environmental subjects because of Chipko. Chipko, Narmada, the Gandamardhan struggle in Orissa against illegal mining, the Kerala fisher folk struggle, which is a struggle of artisanal fisher folk against large multinational trawlers. All these environmental struggles combine environmental sustainability with social equity. Firstly, it was an environmental issue to the poor. Secondly, they all, to go back to Professor Monti's point, they all used moral means to achieve moral ends. None of them picked up a gun. Thirdly, all of them believed in reconstruction, not just protest, but organizing and mobilizing local communities to restore these damaged or devastated environments. And fourthly, they provoked and shamed intellectuals into the field. Before Chipko and Narmada, there was no discipline called environmental history, environmental sociology, environmental economics, whatever, not at all. So they provoked and shamed scholars like me and many others to study these issues seriously, to go beyond only writing about, trade union politics or landlord issues. No, not to say those are not important, of course they are. But a whole new dimension of social science research was emerged as a result of this popular movement. So this constituted the second wave of the Indian environmental movement, running from the early 70s to the early 90s. And it was a wave that was spread all across India, that had many constituent elements, many movements, small, large, medium scale, many leaders, many activists, many sympathizers, and it also led to some significant policy changes. Because of these struggles, the central government was forced to constitute a Ministry of Environment and Forests in 1986. Because of these struggles, certain changes in the laws, in the pollution control laws, in laws allowing for community forest management emerged. So these struggles in the 70s and 80s, what I'm calling the second wave of the Indian environmental movement, a wave that differed from the first wave in that it was not merely thinking but also action. It had a profound social impact, and inevitably it provoked a counter-reaction in the form of what I'm calling the anti-environmental movement. In the early 90s was born an anti-environmental movement, and this was a product of economic liberalization. In 1991, 25 years ago this summer, the government of India began to dismantle the license permit Raj to create an environment for free entrepreneurship, and also dismantled the previous model of import substituting industrialization and opened out the Indian economy to the world. Now, I am one of those who believe that some aspects of liberalization were needed. I think the license permit Raj had stifled entrepreneurship, it had led to a lot of corruption, and there were some good aspects to economic liberalization. But there were also some negative aspects that would be felt later, particularly in the environmental field, and later on in corruption, which is a separate subject which perhaps we should talk about elsewhere. Now, when movements like the Chipko Andolan and the Kerala fisher folk struggle were active in the 70s and 80s, grassroots environmentalists like Chandra Prasad Bhatt was often dismissed as CIA agents. In the 70s and 80s, it was not uncommon for environmentalists to be told, you are holding up development and you are a CIA agent. After economic liberalization started, the same environmentalists were called KGB stooges. Because environmentalism, liberalization came with great hype. As I say, I am not an unqualified critic of liberalization. Some aspects of liberalization were necessary and important. However, the rhetoric and the hype that liberalization came with, that if you free up the market, if you allow entrepreneurship to flourish, if you completely waive all state restrictions, India will become Singapore writ large. All of us will be less than a billion happy consumers, each having a car, a fridge, and a private yacht and holidays abroad and so on. And from this perspective, which promised to make India Singapore writ large, environmentalists emerged as the big bad guys. Because only they were raising questions. What if you allow so many nuclear plants, so many new coal mines? What will be the impact on the environment, on livelihood, on water sources? And an anti-environmental movement rose in the 1990s, which had some profoundly negative effects. One of the effects, as I said, was to demonize environmentalists. Those environmentalists who had been said, who in the heyday of state-sponsored industrialization, environmentalists who were called CIA agents, the same environmentalists in the heyday of economic liberalization were called KGB stooges. A second impact was on the media. The media, which in the 1970s and 80s had sympathetically and sensitively covered environmental issues, now became under the, for whatever reasons, became profoundly antagonistic to environmental concerns. When I started out as a researcher in the 1980s, every major newspaper had an environmental journalist. Some of the finest writing was done not by scholars like me, but by journalists like Usha Rai, Anil Agarwal, Darren DeMonte, in English, Shekhar Pathak and Bharat Dograyan, who are pursuing Hindi, Rajkumar Keswani, who wrote in Hindi, warning about the Bhopal gas disaster before it happened, Nagesh Hegde in Karnataka, who through the 1980s wrote in Kannada about the devastating impact of deforestation in the Western Ghats. So there was a very good, rich and robust tradition of sensitive environmental reporters in the 70s and 80s. When I started my research in the mid-80s, every major newspaper in English had an environmental reporter. By 1995, all those environmental reporters had either been laid off or redesignated as stock market correspondents. So there was a very, how do I put it, a very intense anti-environmental movement. I'm going to give you one example, and I'm going to name names. In the media, the most, at least in the English language media, the most sustained and bitter and hostile critic of Indian environmentalists was Tableen Singh, whose acerbic and bilious and rather somewhat over-the-top style that you read today has been going on for 30 years, except that targets were different then. And one of our targets was Medha Patkar. She then had a column, Tableen Singh had a column in India Today, and I noticed that every few months she would attack Medha Patkar. You know, now her targets are different. She's either praising Modi or attacking Sonia Gandhi. But then, so she was like, I said, what is wrong with her? Why is she attacking Medha Patkar so much? And then I started studying when these attacks appear. And then I was able to discover a cyclical, almost chronological pattern to these attacks. And these attacks occur either in the depths of the Delhi winter or when the heat was most intense during the Delhi summer. So I started thinking of our columnists, our pro-liberalization columnists, in an air-conditioned cabin in Connaught Place, typing a column. And suddenly the power went. She started sweating. It said, it's a damn Medha Patkar. Then you go on other topics, you write about corruption, politics. Then it's December, then it's biting cold, icy cold. It's snowed all over the Himalayas, winds are coming. And you're freezing in your cabin, you got a heater on, and the very power goes. It's a damn Medha Patkar. Actually, the explanation was very simple. Power generation in Delhi uses antiquated transformers that go back to the 1950s, right? But, environmentalists were demonized as holding back progress. Here was the reason that, more recently we have seen this birth of this anti-national demonology, right? In those days, at least for some kinds of people, the media, the corporate houses, it was the environment. And a lot of people bought into it because they were the sense that state socialism or the Nehru model had brought corruption, it had not brought economic growth, it had not ended poverty. Some of these criticisms were valid. And we continue to try something different. Look at what Singapore had done, look at what China under Deng Xiaoping had done, and if we only encourage that kind of economic growth, industrialization on the manner of the West, we would become a happy, contented nation of consumers, and the only people holding us back were those damn environmentalists. Now, it is 25 years since the economy opened up. We can see in a much more detached way than we could in the 1990s what have been the benefits and what have been the costs of economic liberalization. It has been beneficial in many ways, liberalization. It has nurtured a climate of entrepreneurship. It has undermined the link between caste and occupation, so that not just Baniyas, but Yadavs and Dalits can also become entrepreneurs. It has raised rates of economic growth. It has reduced mass poverty. It has solved our foreign exchange crisis. So there are some beneficial impacts to liberalization. But there are also some massive negative impacts. One is corruption, particularly concerned with natural resources like coal and spectrum and iron. and realistic. And the other is the environment. Because we have forgotten Gandhi's warnings, because we have industrialized recklessly without using resource-conserving technologies, without mitigating the externalities of economic growth, because our decisions are taken not in a transparent way, because local communities are never consulted. 25 years of economic liberalization, though it has undeniably produced certain benefits, economic benefits, has been disastrous for the environment and also for human health. India today is an environmental basket case. Our rivers are dead. Delhi is the most polluted city in the world. Our forests and biodiversity are devastated. One of the aspects of economic liberalization, now thankfully, which is the boom has bust a bit, one of the sectors that benefited most was mining. And mining has left a trail of environmental and social devastation in its wake. If you travel as I have done to the mining areas of Goa, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, you will see a massive impact on local communities and on the environment. And a study, as it happens, World Bank economists has shown that the massive environmental destruction through thoughtless and often corrupted process of economic development has, if computed accurately, has shaped 3% of our GDP. And in recent years, the awareness that liberalization is accompanied by a horrific environmental cost has spawned a range of protests against mining in particular, across the Adivasi belt, but also in the cities. Because in the countryside, environmental degradation affects the poor. It deprives peasants of access to clean water, it deprives pastoralists of access to grazing grounds, it deprives fisherfolk of access to fish. But in the cities, it does not discriminate. You can be upper middle class type like me, or you can be poor like my domestic health, and you suffer. And I think now a third wave of Indian environmentalism is beginning. It's only just beginning. It would be premature for a historian like me, who does not really go into the future, to really see how it will go on. But I can see it emerging. I can see it in the young people in this hall. 10 years ago, they may not have been such young people, because it was still thought that liberalization could promise the earth and the sun and the moon and the yes. Now you can see the consequences for human health of the worst air pollution in the world. You can see cities running out of water, conflicts between states over water. You read reports of the massive damage that unregulated mining is doing. And once again, a new environmentalism is stirring. The new groups, new activities, new protests, and there is a growing recognition that whatever the benefits of economic liberalization has been very bad for environmental sustainability and for the sustainability of rural communities dependent on natural resources. And this is one area that cannot be left to the market. It is rational for firms to pollute. Economic theory tells you that it's an externality, somebody else will bear the cost. And it's also clear now that it's not just poor Indians, but also rich Indians, the cities and the countryside, that are impacted by unsustainable economic growth. By India adopting what Gandhi told us not to adopt, industrialization on the man of the West. This is a critical time for the environment development debate in India. The critical question that environmentalists and in many ways all thinking Indians face today is, how does one lift the masses of people out of poverty without undermining the interests and needs of future generations, indeed the interests and needs of nature itself? How does one lift the masses out of poverty? Because we still are a desperately poor nation. We do need a certain form of economic development. But how can we do it in a socially responsible and environmentally sustainable manner? This is a critical question we face. And I don't have the answers except to say that neither governments nor private companies can be trusted to be environmentally ethical or socially responsible. It's for citizens to compel and persuade and force them to be socially responsible and environmentally ethical. I talked about the importance of protest and reconstruction. This was very much a part of the environmentalist I myself most admire, Sunil, who transformed my life. We were speaking about many times. I should say that we tell a joke to students, I appreciate. I have, like all of your phone, with many numbers. And many people call. There are only two people for whom I stand up. You may stand up if one of the giant calls. Right? One is the cricketer Bishan Singh Bedi. If Bishan Singh Bedi calls, I stand up. Because he is the only cricketer to take on the corrupt cricket board. Right? And the other is Chandri Prasad Bhatt. Who is it? Gopeshwar, right near Badrinath. Vachi ka agar phone aaya to bolta. I mean Bangalore, it is Gopeshwar. Now, the lesson of his life was Sangharsh or Nirman. That was also the lesson of Sunil's life. But I would add a third category to that. As we give birth, as the younger generation, not me, not Professor Jain, as Sunil's children, all you young kids here, as you give birth to the third wave of Indian environmentalism, one thing I would urge you is to link it to the first and second waves, the tasks they left unaccomplished, and to link protest and reconstruction with science. Sangharsh or Nirman or Vigyan. That should be your story. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kumaji.